Shalom. Call halal YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Aquath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And this is Habakkuk 2 and 1. And it reads, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come." I have been watching this video earlier, all right, and just reflecting on a couple of different videos and things that I've seen over the last couple of days, different prophets, other of my fellow laborers. And in particular, I'm thinking of a video that Elder Manatazakbar had put up. I forget the title, I mean, you can barely keep up with the brother. He's so on fire with the Spirit of the Lord. But nevertheless, he mentioned in the video, how they keep cutting our videos and our feed, and the word is getting to them. All right. The word is definitely getting to Esau, Edom. They got all these buzzwords and things you can't say. And it was something that he said in that video, though I can't remember it at the moment. Outside of that when I saw this video, made me decide to respond, because there's so many things happening. You had all this troop movement that happened prior to the Trump thing, but it turns out that troop movement may have been for something else, still for the Trump thing, because I just watched a video where it is actually possible that Trump could still be in power, and that he's going to emerge and take back over again with all things that is happening. And that may sound crazy to some, but when you listen to the evidence and the things that were presented, you may think otherwise, especially when you understand the troop movement that's happening here in America and in China with the Taiwanese government. So it looks like both America is planning on backstabbing China, and China is already ready to retaliate. I don't know if many of you are aware that China has built bases in the Caribbean. So and they also have troops up in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the number like 75,000. And then you got American soldiers with the Taiwanese army that are ready to overthrow or go in and occupy mainland China as the CCP collapses. And they're looking for the CCP, the China whatever Republic. I can't think what it means at the moment, the acronym. But they're trying to make it implode and fall the same way they did with the USSR. All right? The USSR fell without war. And they're looking for this thing to do the same. And then the Chinese Taiwanese government, along with American soldiers, to go into mainland China and occupy when that happens. But China is ready to retaliate. And if this is true, and all this is supposedly going to happen, Slovakia, toward the end of March. All right. So I don't know if it's true or not. It's just some information. All I know is that we're listening to the details and looking at the official documents. Well, a lot of the stuff was printed on, which was presented. It looks like it could actually be true. And we do know that something's going to happen that's going to make Russia, China, and the other nations come against this beast system. Got to be careful with that word now. That's why the brother kept saying, Elder Manatazakbar kept referring to the MOB, because you can't really say mark of the B anymore. It's picking up on the algorithm now. So this word is definitely destroying Esau, Edom. So without any further ado, I have this video that was put up by I Love Prosperity, and it's an interview with Lynette Zhang, and the currency collapse has begun. Hyperinflation is next. And if the currency completely collapses, well, guess what that means? That means in the digital thing is already in place and being used. So there will need to be a physical thing to control that digital currency, which is going to be your MOB. All right. So let us play some of Lynette's video, and you'll understand what I'm trying to say, or what I'm saying here. So this is an hour and 10-minute video. It's actually an hour, 10 minutes and 44. And that is literally like the 13th time I've seen 144 in a 24-hour period. I've never seen it that much. Yeah, that's, call halal Yahawah SHAMAIWAN, may it be so. But here we go.
And people go, look, there's a free lunch. Except there's really no such thing as a free lunch. And so 100%, Jake, that is what we're experiencing in a rather pervasive way, is a complete market melt up. But the reality is things are only worth what they're really worth. And when you get to it, I mean, without exception, I mean, well over 4,800 times, without exception, the intrinsic value of a currency is zero, of a fiat currency. It's zero, because it only has use and demand in one area, and by design, its inflation is baked into it, which creates that nominal confusion. I had a $20 bill 20 years ago. I've got a $20 bill today. Nominally, they're identical. They're both $20 bills. But what that could buy you 20 years ago and what that can buy you today, even a year ago, is vastly different. And then even though they're saying we have no inflation, we have massive amounts of inflation in the goods that we use every day, like, I don't know, food. And some kind of anomaly happened, and I have to look into this more, so kind of forgive me on this. But apparently there's some really bad storms that are happening in Texas. And so their energy grid is really struggling, and demand is far outpacing supply. And there was a tremendous price spike in energy, like overnight.
I have to pause it right there. I believe, and many people believe, including the people that live in Texas, that Texas was targeted by HARP technology, which exists. For anyone who wants to try and deny that is just being foolish. All right, because Texas had its own independent grid. Texas has a lot of gold. They've been the leading state in the succession, trying to secede from the United States for many, many years now. So they're the biggest threat. And they're the heaviestly armed, most armed state. And they're pro-Second Amendment. And they were definitely pro-Trump. So, and if they did secede from the Union, which they've tried to do multiple times in the past, you best believe that all of the land of Dixie, all the southern states, and some northern states would join unto them.
Which has not yet trickled through to the masses. But I'm talking about and don't hold me to this because I don't have that data right in front of me, but I'll probably be pretty close. Going from about 4 cents a kilowatt hour to something like $1,147
wow.
a kilowatt hour, like that, right? Because demand is exceeding supply. And energy still, there's only a limited amount that they can generate. And you can think about Enron, who really rigged their energy game to capture a lot of gains. Now, I'm not saying that this was rigged or not. I haven't looked at it closely enough. But I am saying that in the end, it's the consumer that pays for whatever happened. It's the consumer that ends up paying. So there is no such thing as a free lunch. Give people lots of money to spend, and they'll go out and spend it. And that's what will push us into hyperinflation.
So a couple interesting things there, and we'll get into a little bit more into inflation and, the ways the average person experiences it, which, as you said, is is energy and food primarily. But let's go first to, do you think, one thing I wonder is, I think these people controlling the economic levers, I don't think they're stupid. I think they know the consequences of this. They're just going to keep doing it. So I wonder, will they actually do a UBI knowing that this could really drive inflation? So what are your thoughts on this kind of, you talked about, we may get to a point where reoccurring payments and just money continuing to flow out the spigot. Do you think they'll do this? And do you think that they're aware of what the cause would be if the money starts getting into everyone's hands?
100%. 100%. Number one, they have to. They have a limited set of tools. Interest rates are a key tool, so you got to pay attention to interest rates. So there are limitations there. I mean, they've tested negative rates. Not that we're definitely going to negative rates. There's not one little doubt in my mind. But if you're a consumer-driven economy, you have to have enough consumers to consume.
Yeah.
So they've got to do UBI. They 100% have to do. I really thought that they would have done it last year. I can't tell you what the time frame is. Timing's always, I can tell you what's most likely to happen. I just can't tell you. It'll be Tuesday morning at 8:35.
So basically what that means is that the money that they keep printing is destroying the money that's already in circulation. And now that everyone's been stripped of their way of life and their way of making money, and most of these businesses are not going to come back, what is going to happen is they're going to finally give out this UBI, and everyone's going to go out and spend money like crazy to stimulate the economy. But what that's going to do is drive you into hyperinflation. All right, that's going to drive, which is going to make prices go up to the point where it's going to take, $50 to pay for what you used to pay $5 or $10 for. And most people are going to have all this money, but yet they're still not going to be able to afford to do anything. All right, that's what she made the connection between 4 cents for kilowatt hour all the way up to $1,100 per kilowatt hour. This thing is about to happen, and more than likely this year, which means that thing in March 21st could be very, very real, and even if not, later on this year. Something is going to go down very soon.
But if it was Tuesday morning at 8:35, I will be as surprised as everybody else, but not shocked. Okay?
Right.
So yes, 100%. They have to do it because it's not like they're creating new jobs. Mm-hmm. We have just been experiencing massive job disruption and destruction because the mom and pops employed about 50% of the population, and so many of them died during this whole COVID thing, and they're not coming back, and that means those jobs aren't coming back.
That's right.
So,
yeah,
and
it's never going back to normal.
The new system that we're transitioning into, that lovely digital system, does not require the same level of labor. It requires more education, but it just doesn't require the same level. I mean, you've got an autonomous driving car. Do you really need all those drivers? No.
So it's going to destroy the gig economy.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I wonder a lot.
And many other things. You're gonna have a lot of automated like I did this short video when I was in Walmart about a week ago. Yeah, probably about 9 days ago, where all of the tellers are gone. And all you have now is automated tellers. All right, they took them all out. And all you have was automated tellers. So, like in these people in these restaurants that were demanding $15 an hour, now they're just going to replace you with automation. Now you're going to have nothing. So that's going to bring on some very, very dark times. Jacob's trouble is already here. All right. And it's going to just get worse and worse and worse. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, YAHAWADAH, YAHAWADAH, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala.